I can't tell you. Yeah, exactly. Wifey's taking. Yeah, 100%.
The other part of that crazy week, how's it thumb?
It's good. It's good. You know, a little adjusting, getting used to playing with it, but you know, felt fine during the game. Wasn't too painful, so.
You said that pain was going to be the biggest challenge. How did you find, I guess, doing your job in other guys, wrapping up, tackling, hitting? What was the biggest challenge of playing with it?
Probably just playing with it. I mean, you can imagine like having no wrist motion, but either way, it kind of is what it is.
What was it like playing for Sean Payton when you were in New Orleans?
Yeah, obviously I have a lot of respect for him. We won a lot of games. You know, he knows how to motivate a team. He knows how to, you know, call an offense, obviously. You know, just definitely a great coach. And, you know, it's funny how the season started and where they're at now. And they're on a roll. They won 6 of the last 7. And, you know, I know a decent amount of coaches over there. So, yeah, he has a good staff, and he demands a lot out of his guys, and coaches included.
How similar are he and Dan? And do you see, I think Dan said, you know, the Broncos are us, basically, from last year.
Yeah, right.
Do you see similarities between both the coaches and the teams, I guess?
I'd say Dan's personality's a little more different. But, yeah, as far as, like, how their season's been going, you know, following from a distance, it's definitely eerily similar to what we went through last year, and kind of just, you know, you just listen to how the media perceives the team. Then now they're starting to catch a little wind, and they're having success.
What jumps out to you the most about their offense?
You know, I haven't dove a ton into it yet, but you know, I think that they're not turning the ball over a lot, from what I can tell. You know, they set up the play action game with Russell, and you know, kind of doing what he does best, and that's really what Sean, his offenses are always good. It's putting his players in the best position to succeed, and yeah. So
when I say this, I don't think you'll disagree with me. If you do, then you know, please correct me. But I don't think yet last game was up to your personal standards, your individual performance. In situations like that, how do you, I guess, approach the following week? How do you look to rebound when maybe you don't have the game that you wanted to have?
Yeah, there's give and take with that, I'd say. You know, I feel like for myself, I hold myself to probably a higher standard than anyone in this building probably could. So, yeah, it definitely wasn't, I guess up to that standard. And, you know, you just have to attack each day like it's, you know, just move on to the next game, learn from what you did, and just know that, you know, whether it's adjusting, whether it's, you know, just working on what you got to work on, and, you know, move forward.
John Kaminsky said after the game that the defense has kind of lost its confidence and its swagger. Not just how do you find it again, but what goes into that confidence and swagger if you think back to the times where you had the most?
You know, I probably wouldn't say all of that. I wouldn't say completely lost confidence and swagger. I think it's still there. We definitely got settled in that game at, you know, times during that game, and just weren't able to capitalize in, you know, late game situations. And so I wouldn't say all that, but just fly around, have fun doing it. I think that's one thing we definitely have to improve on. Just, you know, getting back to playing fast and playing free, and not being afraid to mess up or worry about outside noise or even what the coaches think. Just play for each other, play fast, play free, and fly around. And that's really when plays happen. That's when, you know, the good defenses perform.
We've seen Jalen be a little bit of a spark for linebackers unit. Just talk about a little bit what he brings when he has his opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's not shocking at all. You know, he's a great player. And I don't hate it, but I probably dislike it when people say, oh, he's a great ball player. But I think he's a great linebacker in the NFL, and I think that he's more than serviceable to be a starter. And yeah, he's just definitely, just when he goes in, he makes plays, and that's kind of what he does.
Dan talked about, after you guys lost to Seattle, maybe it opening your eyes a little bit, or I can't remember exactly what he said, but just kind of learning from it. How much do you look at this last game against Chicago, and it seemed like all of it were things that you guys beat yourselves on. How do you turn that into a strength again for this team and go forward and make sure that you continue to play like you were earlier in the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a credit to the guys we have in our locker room. I think that, you know, everyone's probably intrinsically motivated more than ever, and you know, it's kind of just who we are and what we do, and you know, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna get this thing done right, and we're gonna be. I really believe that, and I think that we're gonna get this thing going the way we really want it to, and just a matter of when. And you know, it really starts Saturday night.
I wanted to ask about another guy in your room. You know, Jack got the expanded opportunity when you were out. Played another big role this game. I think led the team in tackles. It seems like he's really turning the corner. Just you've been such a part of his development as the leader in that room. So, what are you seeing with how Jack is, I guess, progressing here down the stretch?
Yeah, I think that he's probably getting a little more comfortable. You know, just progressing as a rookie, just later in the year. You know, when early in the year things happen fast. You know, it's kind of depending on like where you play in college, and you know, you played in the Big Ten, and just a lot of downhill football, and he's learned, you know, play better in space, and you know, just being who he is and who he can be as an athlete and as a linebacker. I think that is really starting to, you know, take that turn like you talked about, and yeah, he's playing well right now, and he just has to keep it going.
There's a lot of people that, you know, kind of look at what sky is falling just based on outside noise
Right.
now. But I'm curious, when you look back at this last game, and specifically the touchdown late third quarter, the free play that hit you on,
Yeah.
was that a case of like the defense just sort of kind of got caught off guard? You know, you're expecting
Yeah.
them not to snap it, all
Yeah.
of a sudden they hit you one, and then the snowball rolls.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, you know, you're in that situation, 4th and 13, and you know, some like mistakes happen. Like everyone's human, and that stuff happens. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, we stopped them, right, and then they hit us on a play like that. It's like what can you do? And you know, I don't think that anyone got the sideline. You know, it was woe is me, but you know, it's definitely, you know, it takes a toll. But yeah, it's kind of a crappy situation, but it is what it is.
And then when they snap it as a defense, legitimately, like you don't expect it. You know what I mean? So is there a pause that allows them to?
Yeah, and that's the
get
thing.
that
Is like
going
when.
somewhere?
Yeah, everyone's supposed to keep rushing no matter what, make them blow the play dead. Everyone cover like it's a normal play. But yeah, there's kind of that sort of hesitation that, you know, depending on what call you're in or whatever situation it is, you gotta get back to playing. And,
Speaking of
you know, it's easier said than done.
Sorry. Speaking of fans, I think Russell Wilson probably got left for dead by fans nationally last year. He is playing well again as they've kind of turned it around this year. Just what have you seen on film? How does he look compared to the player you're used to seeing from his maybe Seattle time?
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really like dug a ton into it, but you know, I think that just playing comfortable, moving the chains, you know, he's extending plays. I was watching the Chargers game last week. You know, a few plays of it, and you know, flipping it out to someone that's right in the check down area and run for a first down. So just able to make plays and kind of do what he was doing in Seattle, and you know, having the run game set up the play action and the boots and everything like that. So
The feet are still dangerous though, whether that's just
For sure.
escaping the pocket or
yeah, for sure.
scrambling.
He has that maneuverability to, you know, extend plays, and you know, that's what he's good at. And he's good at his accurate ball, and that's what makes him tough.
Dan's talked about Bill Parcells, Sean Payton hanging mouse traps from the ceiling as special ways of motivation. I'm just wondering with Dan, maybe over the last few months as you guys are making a playoff push, or maybe last year, has he done anything unique to kind of get you guys motivated to kind of get things situated?
Nothing like that tangible, I guess you'd say. Yeah, Sean's done. Yeah, we should probably seen him do a ton of different stuff, but Dan hasn't really brought in any objects to display that.
Do you have a
This game
favorite,
means-
guys?
What
Do you have a
this game
favorite from your
means?
time?
Go ahead.
Do you have a favorite from your time under Peyton?
I think the one that probably most notably sticks out is we walked in the team meeting room, and he just had like a clear acrylic box full of, you know, like hundreds, and is like full of hundreds. I don't even know how, but apparently it was how much money you'd make if you made a run in the playoffs. So you could probably do the math on that, and I don't know where the money came from or how he got it, but that's probably the most notable.
That was motivation.
I mean, for some.
What do you think this game means to Dan, just given his relationship
Yeah.
with Sean, and I mean, you know, apart from
Yeah.
wanting to win for the.
It's a lot. Obviously, it's, you know, it's probably some sort of mentorship there, and you know, Dan could probably speak on it more, but you know, it's anytime you play, you know, I know for me, you know, it's kind of, you have a different type of approach to these types of games just because you know someone personally, and you know, it definitely probably brings a little more, you know, edge to how you go about your week. And I know that Sean's probably gonna try to come here and put 50 up on us, and that's what we have. That's what we have to be ready. That's just how he is, and just because of all the personal connections that he
said
has.
that too, like he
Yeah,
wants
that's
to
just
play
how
on
that's
your
just how
team.
it is. Yeah.
Dan, oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Dan also said this week one of the things that gives him a little bit of confidence heading into the week is maybe some of the core guys, some of the better players didn't play as well last week.
Yeah.
Do you get a sense that maybe there's a little bit of some guys pissed off in there, or a little extra
For
motivation?
sure. Yeah, and that's kind of like the balance of like, you can't be overly pissed off because you got to be, you know, excited and ready to go for this game and not have your, you know, demeanor too down. So there's a balancing act with that, you know, for me personally too. And, you know, I say this a lot, like when we're going after our best players have to play the best. And that's really what's going to take to come down these next 4 games and, you know, rolling into the playoffs. So that's really